Okay, Pete, just going to tie up the duck fly. What you can see in the vise at the moment is a claret one, tied out of possum, claret tail and claret thread, and using the spun version for the duck fly feather. The other one we've got, this one's tied using wood duck dyed summer duck with a brown SLF hare's ear dubbing and the wood duck feather as the cloak. Anyway, so what we're using is the Hanak H230BL in a 12. And I'm using the Semperfli thread in claret for this one. Just bear with me, the thread's gone haywire. So tie that in. Remove the waste. A bit of wax on your thread. And what I'm using for a tail is just some Claret Cock. Just a few fibres of that. About that many. And you want to tie them in about the length of the body. As you can see, I'm tying this on the way down. It helps just reduce the I'm going to use some gold wire, small gold wire. Tie that in at the same time. Back to where the barb would be on your hook if you were using a barbed hook. Tie that forward. Take off the waist of the tail. Come back down. More wax. Now what I'm going to use for the dubbing is just some natural rabbit or hare's body. This is a darker one. It's got a few guard hairs in it. It's a good dubbing to use. So you just need enough to dub up a body. You don't want a heavy body. So I'm just we want to get some of those guard hairs in it. So my dubbing noodle is fairly tight on this. I'll get this anchored in and then work it up a little bit more. Okay, once you've had that in, wind your wire through as a rib. Wire up, bend at 90 degrees, tie it in and break it off. Okay, now to tie in the hackle, you can do it a couple of ways. What you can do, using your mountain duck breast feather, you can actually pull off your clump of material and tie it in as a cloak. Just cloak it in around the hook, piece at a time, until you get right around the hook. So you want it about the length of the body, maybe a little bit into the tail. But the method I'm going to do today is I'm going to spin it using a dubbing loop. So making a dubbing loop, and I lock the dubbing loop off so it closes at the top. And then you got it dubbing. You put your dubbing spinner into the loop. If I can see what I'm doing. Old eyes, Pete, as you know. Okay, so what I'm going to do, using the feather, is I'm going to stand it off to the 90 degrees to the stem, and basically come in with a clip of some description, whether you're using the magic tool or this is the Swiss CDC clip, and trimming and cutting, getting that to about where I'll trim away some of this fluff so I don't get that. So you want that as much of the feather as you're going to dub in, and roughly about the length of the body inside the clip. Once you've done that, cut it away from the stem, and that's what I've got. So I'm going to insert that into the loop, and I'm going to try not to have too much of the feather outside of the loop. Now that's in the loop now, so I can position that at the moment. I might move that up the feather a little bit, maybe not, because I've just opened it up and put it into the, excuse that Pete, I've just stuffed it up. Feathers out so they're not caught in the clump. wind them onto the... as I wind them on, I'm going to stroke the fibres back. And then lock it off. Trim away the loop. And then just drawing the fibres back, pushing the fibres back over the body with the thread, as so. Make a head and whip finish. Trim away. A bit of varnish. Now you can fish this either ginked to keep it in the surface film, or you can leave it unginked and it'll sit subsurface. And just twitch it through the water in a figure of 8 retrieve. Alright, good tying, and I'll put the material list in the description of this video when I post it onto YouTube for you. Cheers, mate.